We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly why I believe that we are going to see a massive rally happening very soon on Bitcoin. Today, we're going to be talking about the inverse head and shoulders pattern that is forming on the daily chart. We're going to be looking at a lot of long-term bullish setups that are playing out right now on Bitcoin, and we're also going to be talking about why I believe that Bitcoin is going to be rallying all the way up to $135,000 over just the next few months. This is the Crypto Jeb Coffee and Crypto live stream. Welcome to our stream. We are in the middle of building a new studio, and I cannot wait to show you. We just finished ordering everything to get it set up, and I am expecting it to be online about a week from today. I'm hoping for us to be in it next Monday, so stay tuned. You're really going to like it. It's really amazing. We just started building it, and very excited to see how all that plays out. So let's do it. Let's read a little bit of chat. Sean O'Brien is in chat today. Philly Skills 1428 is here. Kryptoni in chat. Christopher Ryan said, how's the new studio coming along? Well, that's what we just talked about. It's actually coming very well. I think it's going to look awesome. I think it is a major upgrade from what we had, what we've been in for the last couple of years. I think it's probably going to be the best looking studio we've ever had. It's going to be a study. And we'll just stick some cameras in there, and it's going to be great. I think it's going to look really cool. Welcome, all ready for some good TA. You're in the right place. We got a lot coming, and definitely looking forward to having my cameras back online and having some better audio quality. So I apologize for all of that. No more car videos here in a little while. We're going to be getting back to edited videos, daily content, 7 days a week on the uploads, 5 days a week on the streams. Can't wait to see where we go as a community. We are streaming today live on YouTube and also over on X. So big shout out to everybody who's watching Coffee and Crypto on X, and stay tuned as well for us coming to Rumble. We're going to be branching out onto Rumble pretty soon. We're going to be doing some big collaborations. We're going to start bringing some of your favorite YouTubers and influencers in the crypto space onto the Coffee and Crypto live stream. We got a lot coming, so stay tuned. Very exciting developments going on right now. Really appreciate all of you for being here. Let's get started. Bitcoin right now is performing very, very handsomely considering the massive amount of geopolitical turmoil that is going on. Bitcoin is currently trading at $107,500. This is extraordinarily comforting. The reason that I say that is because we have just witnessed the breakout of one of the most important conflicts of this century, which would be the direct and full-on conflict between the nation-states of Israel and Iran. Last week, Israel began launching missiles into Iran to take out their nuclear program. Both the scientists that are in charge of the nuclear program, as well as a multitude of different military commanders in the Iranian armed forces. IRGC responded by launching hundreds of missiles into Iran, along with hypersonic missiles, which for one of the first times in human history, we are now seeing being used in open warfare. And my God, they are terrifying. I'm not going to show you the videos here on stream because they would be probably disturbing for some of you guys, but if you're interested, it's insane to watch a missile scream in at 3,500 to 4,000 miles an hour. Not something that you want to mess with. So this conflict has had profound impacts on the global market, and one of those impacts has been Bitcoin, and we have to analyze Bitcoin right now in light of these recent geopolitical developments. There's just simply no other way to do so. After the attack from Israel on Iran, we saw a corrective movement all the way back down to $102,700 or so. Someone said prison looks nice on me. Oh, come on. It's not prison. Come on, it's the Bitcoin shirt. Oh, man, I'm getting trolled. We saw Bitcoin drop all the way down here to $102,700, which was a massive flash crash. But Bitcoin has recovered very strongly. We are actually right back up to the same level that Bitcoin was trading at before this geopolitical turn of events. This shows us remarkable strength on Bitcoin. And it also means that our long-term inverse head and shoulders pattern that we've been drawing for months is still in play. In fact, if anything, this development may make the inverse head and shoulders pattern even more valid because of the bull flag that we're painting right now on Bitcoin, because that is building our right shoulder. What we're witnessing right now on this right shoulder is most likely the final stages of the inverse head and shoulders pattern that will probably lead us all the way up into a major breakout as high as $135,000. I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now. If we see a breakout here, based on our inverse head and shoulders pattern, we could be rallying all the way up to $165,000. So what we're witnessing with this bull flag is beautiful. I love to see Bitcoin consolidating here. The longer the Bitcoin consolidates here, the stronger the visible range volume profile support becomes in the range between $95,000 and $105,000. This gives us an extremely powerful bulwark of support that Bitcoin can call on during a future possible bear market. It is very possible right now, based on all of the support that's being built at these levels, that Bitcoin could, for example, rally into a bull market all the way up to $150,000, $200,000, $250,000, go absolutely parabolic. And if it did go into a bear market, we could drop back down to $100,000, find this massive amount of visible range volume profile support down here, bounce, and call $100K the bottom of the bull market. That's why we're trying to acquire as much Bitcoin as we possibly can at these levels, because there is a great possibility with how long we're spending sideways here at $100K that Bitcoin will end up never going below $100,000 again. One day that's obviously going to be the case, but for right now, it is something that we're still developing. Are we setting up to never have to go below $100,000 ever again? That is what we might be seeing right now. And with Bitcoin having this strong bounce over the last several days, it gives even more credence to that idea. Now, we did lose the inverse head and shoulders pattern here, because we were building the inverse head and shoulders pattern like this, but that's okay because we held on to the longer-term daily chart inverse head and shoulders pattern, which means that there's nothing really that we need to be concerned about with the short term, since the long term is in our favor. Now, I also want to show you Lux Algo. Lux Algo did not flash bearish on this corrective movement. Nope, it didn't. We did not see a sell signal come in, and we did not see trend catcher flash red, which indicates that Bitcoin is still bullish according to Lux Algo. If you guys don't know about Lux Algo, you need to. I've been using Lux Algo for over 5 years here on the Crypto Jeb YouTube channel. It is absolutely second to none, phenomenal. I highly recommend it, and this buy signal comes in very powerfully right now. If we look at the last few times that we saw a Lux Algo buy signal that was similar to this, in other words, Lux Algo buy signals that happened below all-time high. I don't want to look at Lux Algo buy signals up here after we've rallied 40% above all-time high, because I don't think that's a fair comparison. But if we look at these buy signals that were leading into rallies, which is what we're basically seeing right now, you can see if we just pick out like 4 of these, for example, this buy signal, which happened below the local high at $31,800. We ended up rallying $23,000 off that buy signal, 87%. The next buy signal that we saw here right after the IBIT and Fidelity ETFs, along with the other Bitcoin ETFs, Bitcoin rallied 74% off of that buy signal. Over here, after we broke all-time high with the inauguration of President Donald Trump, Bitcoin would rally 65%. That's what we're seeing happen right now. We're seeing very similar buy signals to what we saw right here, to what we saw right here, and to what we saw right here. Well, Jeb, why do you not discount these? Well, some of these are not validated by the trend catcher. So these 3, for example, are non-important. These up here I'm not going to count because we're already dozens of percentage points above the all-time high. At this point, we're 48% above all-time high. Those were buy signals that came in while we're ranging sideways. Not too interested in that. I want to look at buy signals that happened below the local high that Bitcoin was breaking, such as this one, such as this one, etc. You see the point here? These are buy signals that came in towards the end of the sideways consolidation that was going on right before breakout, which is where we are right now. We're about to see a massive breakout, and so I want to look at buy signals that are similar in time frame to that. Signals that happen around the time that we're going to watch a breakout. And so that's what we're seeing right now, is a buy signal coming in right here, and almost every single time in history that we've seen a buy signal come in with this kind of setup, strong support from the daily chart formation, such as the inverse head and shoulders pattern, strong support from things such as the longer term MACD, right? Out here on the weekly chart, MACD is bullish. right? RSI is sitting up here at 65, indicating bullish strength, but not overbought territory. These are very good signs, right? This points to a major rally being right around the corner. So this buy signal coming in, if it's correct, you could see a 40% rally off of it. You could see 50, 60% rally off of it. That's what we've seen happen before. And that would go hand in hand with what we're seeing from this inverse head and shoulders pattern. If you guys have not signed up for Lux Algo, you definitely should. I would highly recommend it. And the reason for that is because they are not just the best technical indicator in the game. There's also a discount going on right now that is not going to be around for, oh, actually, you missed it. Look at that. It's over. Man, you should have checked on that before it went. But Lux Algo is still available here, and you can get 20% off using our coupon code. So sign up with our link in the description box down below, and you'll be able to get access to Lux Algo for 20% off if you sign up with our link. So make sure to sign up with our link, with the link in the description box down below. Really appreciate that. All right, let's keep it moving here. Want to show you some of the other fundamental forces that are very bullish for Bitcoin right now. For example, out here on the weekly chart, we've got Bitcoin not bouncing, but residing above the 20 weekly exponential moving average. And if we just go ahead and draw a vertical line here at $100,000, you're going to see that the 20 weekly EMA is actually approaching the $100,000 range, which means that we're very close to trading at an average price of over $100,000 for 20 weeks average. And that doesn't mean we haven't been below $100,000 in 20 weeks, but that's coming too, right? Bitcoin's been above $100,000 for like 6 weeks straight. The 20 weekly exponential moving average breaking above $100,000 basically solidifies Bitcoin as being a six-figure asset. It solidifies $100,000 as support because it gives us the 20 weekly EMA as well support. When Bitcoin does go through a corrective movement, we normally spend a little bit of time down here below the 20 EMA, but not long. I mean, for example, here we dropped on average, we dropped about 12% below the 20 weekly exponential moving average. Here, we dropped about 15%. If Bitcoin rallies up to $100,000, and we did drop 15% below that, then you're only looking at an $85,000 corrective movement off of wherever we go. This is extremely strong support that is going through a major rally, and the higher it gets, the more likely it is that Bitcoin's going to move towards fresh all-time highs. Right now, also just kind of looking at price action, right now, Bitcoin looks shockingly similar to the way that it looked right here. This rally up to $73,800 and this back test down here to the moving averages here. That is exactly what Bitcoin looks like right now. A rally up to the all-time high, a small back test, followed by a bounce. It looks like, based on what we've seen in the chart recently, that a break above $110,000 is imminent. We're kind of just waiting for a few things to happen. Let's talk about what those things are. There are a few things kind of holding Bitcoin back. One of the things I think is holding Bitcoin back right now is a concern, obviously, over the Iran and Israeli war. There are talks about the United States getting involved, and hopefully that doesn't happen, right? But it is a possibility, and we would need to see how that would impact global markets. There are reports this morning that there are about 18 to 24 fuel tankers, basically these giant flying gas stations that are designed to refuel jets flying to the Middle East from United States Air Force bases that are based domestically to international bases in and around the Middle East. Does that mean that we're going to get involved? Trump has not necessarily ruled out the idea of getting involved directly in this conflict, and we already know we're involved in this conflict from the standpoint of the United States has helped to shoot down Iranian missiles in the defense of Israel. So are we going to get involved? If we do, what does that do to the United States stock market, considering that we've got a price right now of 603, 680 on the SPDR S&P 500 Trust. Over the last year, that is just shy of all-time high. Stock market is almost to all-time high. And if we look at this SPY over here, we can see we're about to hit the all-time high. Are we going to reject off of all-time high and start correcting because of this war? There is a historical precedent for this. When the Russo-Ukrainian war broke out, we were about right here, and the United States S&P 500 went through a major crash. Now, of course, this was in tandem with the major correction that we had seen because of all of the inflation that was going on from COVID. But is that what we're going to see happen? Are we going to see another major correction, maybe a double bottom down here to 480 on SPY? It's possible. It's very possible that the United States stock market could go through a major corrective movement. And the reason that I say this is related to Bitcoin is because Bitcoin follows the S&P 500. If you don't believe me, I will show you. You can track SPY with Bitcoin here, and there is a huge propensity for overlap. You can see the massive, glaringly obvious overlap here, right? When you have Bitcoins in a rally, the SPY is in a rally. When Bitcoin's crashing, SPY is crashing. When Bitcoin's rallying, SPY is rallying, right? Even on this major drop here, we saw a little dip in the United States S&P 500. So what I'm interested in seeing, and even here during the last bear market, that was a major, almost bear market in the United States S&P 500. As the stock market bottomed out, we went on a rally. We went through this massive correction here because of geopolitical uncertainty. As we bounced, so did Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is basically doing what the United States S&P 500 is doing, except it's running much faster and much hotter than S&P. And so what I'm looking at right now is whether or not the United States is going to, whether or not the United States S&P 500 is going to break all-time high. If the U.S. S&P 500 does break all-time high, then it's likely going to start running very, very, very hot. It's probably going to rally up to $700 to $800 for the S&P 500. And that will lead to a massive rally on Bitcoin. Now remember, Bitcoin typically outpaces the S&P. It's not a one-to-one comparison. If the S&P were to break its all-time high here on SPDR at 613, and it were to rally up to 700, for example, or maybe let's call it 750. If it were to rally up to 750, that's a 23% movement. But if Bitcoin were to break its all-time high, then Bitcoin would probably move more like 50 to 75%. If we break our all-time high here, then Bitcoin would probably rally up to, say, $160,000 to $180,000, call it 170, and you're looking at 55% movement. In other words, the United States S&P 500 is likely about to go through a breakout, which will drag Bitcoin into a breakout, which makes sense because you've also got the Dixie over here doing the downward-facing Dixie, right? Dixieland Delight, going on a massive crash as we see rates stay high, as we see a lack of confidence in the United States S&P 500, as we look at the U.S. 30-year government bond rate creeping higher, right? We're looking at the bond rate going higher here. Eventually, rates are going to have to get cut. Eventually, you're going to have to see the money printer turn on. Eventually, you're going to have to see the United States S&P 500 break all-time high. And when you do, that's when all hell breaks loose on Bitcoin. Now, something I also want to remind you of. Bitcoin's previous all-time high, the first of the $100,000 all-time highs, was $108,500. Bitcoin is basically trading at or around that level right now. By the way, we're also sitting on top of the 3-daily moving average. When we had this inter-rally corrective movement like we're having right now, we ended up bouncing off of it and doubling again. That's what's going to happen here. Bitcoin is probably half of the way through this upwards trend on the logarithmic scale, which means we got more to come than what we've just seen. 50% movement into it. 50% movement from the bottom of this correction out of it. $150,000 is likely. But my point here is that Bitcoin is actually trading slightly at a premium, or basically at the exact same level that it was at when we hit all-time high the first time. If you look at SPY, we're actually still a good bit below that level, because that level that corresponds on that chart is here at 609. Instead, S&P is sitting at 603. In other words, not only is Bitcoin going to outpace the S&P 500 in the sense that it's going to rally farther, it's also sitting on a more bullish setup than the United States S&P 500 is. Bitcoin is in a beach ball held underwater market. Right? On this channel, we've talked about a lot of markets. We've talked about bull markets. We've talked about bear markets. We've talked about turtle markets. Who remembers that? Right now, this is a beach ball held underwater market. And for any of you who have ever spent more than 5 minutes at the beach with a beach ball, the further you hold the beach ball underwater, the more aggressive the explosion is when that beach ball comes up for air. And it acts like a catapult. And I think that's what we're going to see with Bitcoin here. Bitcoin has thoroughly proven that it belongs at a $100,000 price. We have spent, I want to say 35 days. Let's check. We can check on the charts. I want to say we've spent 35 days above $100,000 since we broke here on the 8th of May. We've spent 39 days, I'm corrected. 39 days above above $100,000. If Bitcoin has not confirmed that it is a $100,000 asset plus a $100,000 plus asset yet, I don't know what will. This reminds me of the time that Bitcoin spent all of that time trying to get up above $20,000. And once we did get above $20,000, as you can see here, we hit our head, and after we broke it, we just went absolutely para-frickin-bolic. And so that's what I think is going to happen here. We broke above $100,000, and we might come back down here and flirt with it again like we did in 2022 and drop below it a little bit. Maybe we drop down to 85 or 75 during the bear market. Maybe we drop back down to $60,000 during the bear market, but not before we rally all the way up to probably well north of $200,000 during this cycle. I mean, for example, let's look at the bear market bottom to the top. If we look at the bear market bottom to the top, we're looking at 2,100% rally on the two bear markets ago. This one so far, we're 600% up. Let's say Bitcoin drops back down. Let's say Bitcoin drops back down to $60,000. If we rally 600% from there, you're looking at a $450,000 Bitcoin moving into the end of this decade. That makes a lot of sense. If you look at the 4-year halving cycle, you would expect, based on how long the halving cycles take, you would expect the bull market to be concluding here in about 6 months or so, which means we should be moving into the parabolic phase anytime soon. You would see the bottoming out probably take place over here towards about 2027. And then you would see probably around the beginning of 27 would be the end of the bear market. And then from that point in time, you would go on to a massive parabolic rally up to probably $400,000 to $500,000 to $600,000 moving into around 2029. And so what are we witnessing right now? We are witnessing the beginning of the end of this market, which will likely lead us all the way up to $150,000 to $250,000. This is probably one of the last legs up. From that point in time, if the bear market, 4-year halving cycle continues, you would see a bear market drop us down to maybe $50,000 to $75,000 at the very lowest. I mean, I'm talking really, really, really worst case scenario, but there's a very high chance that Bitcoin literally never drops below $100,000 again with the kind of parabolic movement we're about to see. And then at that point in time, if you think about it, 4 years from now, we'd be in the same part of the halving cycle. That's 2029. That means in 2029, you're about to go parabolic. Where are you going? Well, you're probably heading up towards 100,000. Sorry, not 100,000. You're probably heading up towards $1 million by the end of this decade. Are we going to hit $1 million this decade? No, I am very confident that we won't. But we're probably going to be getting close. We'll probably be closer to $100,000 to $1 million than to zero by the end of this decade. In other words, in 2029, assuming the 4-year halving cycle continues, even if it doesn't, to be quite honest with you, even if we do just plow straight through up to 100 to 200 to 300 and we just grind instead of going into bear markets, which could very easily happen, I think you're looking at $500,000 to $600,000 Bitcoin by the end of this decade, 5 years from now. That's not crazy, guys. 5 years ago was 2020. Right? If you go back to 5 years ago, Bitcoin was trading, I mean, literally exactly 5 years ago, Bitcoin was trading at $50,000. We're double that height right now. Right? And so if you double where we are right now in 5 years, you're looking at a $200-some thousand Bitcoin. That's very conservative. By 2050, sorry, not by 2050, by 2035, 10 years from now, you're easily looking at $1 million Bitcoin. And that's not even to consider all of the massive amounts of institutional inflows. There's also another possibility that Bitcoin just continues linearly here up until infinity. It's possible that Bitcoin just enters a trading range like this and just points at $1 million. If we enter this trading range on the log chart, you're targeting $1 million by the end of this decade. It's possible. It really is. It sounds insane, but it's not. It is seriously possible with how much money is pouring into Bitcoin. I mean, today, Michael Saylor's strategy bought $1.1 billion worth of Bitcoin. That's not going to stop anytime soon. They're going to be the first company to 1 million Bitcoin, right? The future's here. The future's coming. So what I want to kind of wrap out on, the main point I want to make today is thus. Do you agree with my premise? Do you agree that we're going to $250,000 to $500,000 this decade? Do you agree that we're going to $500,000 to $1 million in the first half of the next decade? $1 million in 10 years. Do you agree with the premise? If you do agree with the premise, the second question would be, do you agree that that is extraordinarily likely to happen? Because I think it's extraordinarily likely that it's going to happen. With the continued debasement of currencies, with the increasing bond rate, with the amount of institutional investment, with the fact that retail is not even here yet, but eventually they're going to show up, I think it's extremely likely, an extremely low-risk prediction that Bitcoin will hit $1 million by 2035. Pretty much anybody in this space is going to tell you that that's their prediction. I mean, we're not the outlier making that call. Right, that's a very common call in Bitcoin right now, and it makes sense. Worst case scenario, Bitcoin's at $600,000, $700,000 in 2035, but it's probably going to be worth significantly more than that. If you agree with the premise that we're going that high, and it's extraordinarily likely that we're going that high, also ask the question, do you see any major red flags? Is there anything you can think of that would stop that from happening? Do you think quantum is going to destroy Bitcoin? I don't. Do you? I think quantum will destroy a lot of other stuff first before it ever gets to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's significantly more difficult to crack than just about anything else. Do you have any major concerns? I don't. I really don't. I think it's a clear path all the way up there. Okay, so if we agree with that premise, if we accept the idea that this is true and that this is coming, then the next question we have to ask ourselves is, well, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Do you believe that we're going to go to that level? If so, what are you doing about it? How much Bitcoin are you accumulating right now in anticipation of what's to come? Bitcoin is showing remarkable resilience in light of us being closer to World War III than we've ever been. The United States is helping Israel. China is helping Iran. This is not good stuff going on geopolitically, guys. And yet Bitcoin is holding firm because Bitcoin was designed by its creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, to be the antithesis of our modern system, which is entirely dependent on the whims of geopolitics. Bitcoin was designed to be not necessarily immune, but the hedge against this kind of global instability. So if you believe that, then what are you doing about it? Are you stacking sats? I personally believe that Bitcoin is becoming two things. I believe it's becoming the base rate, and I also believe it's becoming the international safe haven. These are two very important terms. The base rate is the market that if you can't beat it, buy it. Bitcoin has, in fact, I would say it has become the base rate. You can't beat it, so buy it. And on the other hand, I also think, in the last week in the post-Israel-Iran conflict has shown us this, I also believe it's becoming the international safe haven. I believe that a huge number of people, when crap hits the fan, are moving in the direction of just buying Bitcoin. That's what we did. We bought Bitcoin after this conflict started. And so, if that's the case, that's a parabolic uptrend. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to make plays today that put you in a position in 5 to 10 years where you're happy you made those plays? Are you making moves today that you're going to be pleased with tomorrow? I am. We're trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as we can. We've accumulated a bunch of Bitcoin, and we're not going to stop anytime soon, right? I believe that we're going into a massive rally. I believe that this is effectively the new base rate for global markets, and I believe that the world is rapidly waking up to that reality, which means there is a massive, massive, massive rally on the horizon. And it also means that we need to do something about it. So what are we going to do about it? Wear orange? Buy orange. All right, let's read some chat. Jeb, your channel is becoming a Bitcoin-only channel. That would be awesome. Jeb, is your channel becoming a Bitcoin-only channel? That would be awesome. I don't mind altcoins. I have some. I do think there will be an alt season, but I'm just going to be honest with you. I haven't bought altcoins in months. I've bought a lot of Bitcoin because, once again, it's becoming the base rate. I have a wife, 2 children. I have children, a home, a life, friends, family, other things that I like to do with my life. I don't want to spend 14 hours a day trying to beat Bitcoin. Because guess what? There's a pretty good chance I'm not going to. I don't want to gamble thousands of hours of my time trying to beat Bitcoin when, frankly, I don't know whether I can or not. Why flippin' bother? If I can 10x my investment in 10 years, why not just make as much money as I can and dump it into that asset? All these people out here are trying to chase the 50 or 100x. No, you don't need to double the return. You don't need to double the rate of return. You need to double your income. It is significantly easier to double your income than it is to find an asset that's going to appreciate double as fast with the exact same risk profile. In fact, it's virtually impossible. It's my full-time job to analyze markets, and I'm not dumb enough to be going around trying to beat Bitcoin every minute. Are there people that do it? Yes. Are most of them going to get burnt? Yes. And so I would heavily encourage you to be very careful trying to beat Bitcoin, because most people that have ever tried it have failed. Most people that have ever tried it and are smart repented and ended up buying Bitcoin. Just about every major bull on Bitcoin right now was once a massive bear. Saylor thought Bitcoin was a joke. Larry Fink thought Bitcoin was a joke. Donald Trump thought Bitcoin was a joke. But guess what? These people are very, very, very intelligent and became rich for some reason. And so they realized, wait a second, I'm wrong. Bitcoin's right. I need to jump on the train. And so I would just heavily encourage you, be careful trying to beat Bitcoin. It can be done, but you need to get real with yourself about whether or not you're actually that skilled that you can. You need to get real about whether or not you actually can beat Bitcoin, because there's a good chance you can't. If it's a coin flip, you're going to lose every time. There's a good chance that you can't lose. All right, let's go ahead and read some chat. Really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Jeb, hope you had a blessed Father's Day. Nice to have you back, keeping you and your family in thoughts and prayers. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Yes, we're back. We've been uploading daily. Shot a video and uploaded it yesterday. Really enjoying everything that we've been doing. Had a great Father's Day. It was very nice spending time with the kids, just watching them run around. My wife, my kids, watching them run around, play, have fun. It's the only thing you could ever ask for on Father's Day is getting to see your family have fun. So there you go. Please tell me you have more than one monitor set up, Kryptoni said. I have about 10 monitors out in the garage. What do you guys think? Should I get a big, multi-monitor setup? I have a dual monitor arm mount. I might do it. Probably will. Yeah, you know what? It would be helpful to have an extra monitor rather than just my laptop screen. Wow, new format? I've been traveling, been away a while. Shadrach Frost said, we're in the middle of building a new studio. It should be done next week. So that's why we're here. That's why I'm shooting on a MacBook camera. Sorry, but you're here for the content, not for the camera. But it's going to look really cool. You guys are going to really like the new studio. It's getting designed right now. Well, actually, it's been designed. It's getting built right now. So stay tuned for that. So got my position on Ledger mainly from 2019 to 2022. Bought the BTC ETFs in January 2024. Took profit on these ETFs in my IRA in the last few months and converted the proceeds to MSTR for Bitcoin leverage. There you go. For the new studio. Congrats, brother. Thank you. All right. Now, let's look over a last couple of things. The main thing I want to point out, really, I'm going to say this, and we're going to basically wrap it out. You're going to have a hard time beating Bitcoin. You're most likely not going to beat Bitcoin. You're almost certainly not going to beat Bitcoin. And if you think you are, I'd like to see you prove it. I'd like to know what your track record is. In fact, more so than that, I think your future portfolio would like to know what your track record is. Bitcoin is going to most likely 10x in the next 10 years. You're not going to find that anywhere else. You're not going to find a 25 to 30% CAGR in any other market. You're not going to find it. Here's the other thing. I want to point this out short-term price action-wise. We've got this uptrending level of support. As you can see, Bitcoin is holding this. We keep bouncing up here. We've set this uptrending level of resistance. At this point in time, it's looking like the end of June is probably going to be a great time to see some kind of breakout. This bull flag is beautiful. It's pointing towards $150,000. So what are you going to do about it? That's my final call for you. That's my final question for you is what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about these opportunities that we have? That's the main point. I'm buying Bitcoin. That's that simple. Buying Bitcoin with everything I got. Hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to sign up for Lux Algo. Links in the description box down below. You can get 20% off using our coupon code. Really appreciate all of you guys that sign up over there. And stay tuned because our new studio is going to be awesome. Cannot wait for you to see it. Going to have a lot of your favorite faces here on the channel. And very much looking forward to seeing where we go. Stay tuned. Today's video will be coming out soon. It'll be one of the last videos that we shoot in the car because we're building the new studio. Going to have a whole set just for that piece of content, just for those daily update style videos. There's a whole new studio and set place that I'm going to be shooting those on actual professional equipment. So stay tuned for that, guys. Very excited about that. You're not saying some alts will outperform Bitcoin, are you, Jeb? Some alts will outperform Bitcoin, and then they will crash 95% in the bear market, never to be seen again. Investing is not trading. People get this confused. They say, I'm investing in altcoins. I'm going to sell it in 6 months. No, you're not. You're doing a medium-term swing trade. I am an investor, not a trader. You know why? I can trade. I've done it before. I would rather spend my time with my kids than 14 hours a day trading. I know how. I've done it before. I do trade every once in a while. If I see something that's obvious, yeah, I'll take a trade. Why not? But I'm not interested in being a day trader. I don't need to be. We reached the point of being work optional a long time ago. I do this because I love it. I'm not trying to... That's just not my game. Some of you are traders and you make a lot of money, and more power to you. If you're interested in trading, by the way, I got something to share with you here in just a minute, but that's not what I'm doing. I do take trades if I see them, right? Which is why I'm set up and I'm prepared to take a trade if I see one. But I'm not stressing about it. I'll take a great trade if I see it, but I'm not sitting there trying to look for trades all day on 100 different markets. Some altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin. They will. And you are going to have to watch them very closely to make sure that you're able to take advantage of it. All right. Now, I want to give you guys a big tip, and that is that Blowfin has a really cool deal going on right now. In fact, I need to pull it up, but let's see. Let me pull this up for you. Give me 1 second. There's a campaign going on. And if you sign up for Blowfin with the link in the description box down below, you can get access to it. So make sure to sign up for Blowfin with the link in the description box down below. There is a trading challenge that's going on right now. Check this out right here. The Trading Carnival, $480,000 prize pool up for grabs based on your trading volume. So if you have not already, make sure to go ahead and sign up for Blowfin with the link in the description box down below. You can join our team for that, and you can get access to a lot of really amazing things. So for example, here's some of the kind of information over here. Starting on June 10th, which means it started, going through July 1st, you're going to be able to see all kinds of rewards in this bomb token right here, right? $80,000 in bomb for the top 500 spot traders. A lot of you guys are definitely top 500 spot traders. So make sure you join, and you'll be able to get access to big rewards based on your trading. Hey, if you're going to be trading anyway, why not trade on Blowfin? Why not trade where there are very low fees? Why not trade with the best user interface? Why not trade where you can get access to some massive rewards? Why not? Why not get access to some massive rewards and support the channel while you're at it? So make sure to sign up for Blowfin with the link in the description box down below. I'll be bringing you more information about that tomorrow, so make sure to check it out. Really appreciate you guys for tuning in. All right. We are going to wrap it out. Before I do, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Make sure to follow us on X if you have not already. If you're watching this on X, make sure to follow us on YouTube at CryptoJeb. We'll be branching out to Rumble soon, so we'll be on all 3 platforms, and we'll be branching out to Instagram and TikTok and all that. So stay tuned for all of that. Really excited about where this content, where our influence is going to go. And make sure to go tell people about the channel. I'd like to see us hit 250,000 subscribers soon. I'd really like to hit that during this rally. That'd be really cool. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that post notification bell so you're never missing content and never missing our charting. I really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. And if you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button, subscribe, stay tuned for more content. And before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.